I'm sure that you probably have been aware of all this this nonsense going on in Hollywood and in politics with all these allegations now of all this sexual harassment.
What?
Improper advances and improper relationships, and this has never been an issue or a public spectacle the way that it has in the last couple of weeks.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Happened? What happened? Dude, when you see this, I have two, and I'll, by all means, I'll let you go with this, but I'm ready to ramble, as you can tell.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I'm bringing this up.
I have two trains of thought on this whole sexual harassment thing. The first one is the most obvious. Isn't it great watching these fucking libtard dickheads that have been telling us how to live our life for the past fucking 10 years eating their own? Isn't it great just watching them fucking fall apart?
Well, it's crumbling. Everything is just crumbling. The house of cards, not to, use a cliche, but, Kevin Spacey specifically.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is just crumbling down.
But isn't it fun to watch?
Yeah, it is. It's just like I said, like you were just saying, that these sanctimonious douchebags, who've been preaching at us about how we should vote and how we should live and how we should allow, open borders and this and that, but yet, when it comes to their own life, they certainly aren't living an exemplary existence.
I love knowing that Ashley Judd fucking let people, was sexual. This is going to sound wrong when I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I love knowing that she was sexually assaulted by fucking Harvey Weinstein, and that she didn't step up and let countless people after her get sexually assaulted. And that she's the one that was talking about what a fucking asshole Trump was for being for calling her a nasty woman.
Right.
You know what, cunt? You are a nasty woman, you fucking whore. How many women fucking had to be assaulted by Harvey Weinstein because you couldn't step up after 1992, you fucking twat? She's a fucking twat. She might as well have raped a bunch of women herself, because that's what she allowed to happen.
Yep.
And she's going to be the one telling that's pissed off about fucking Donald Trump saying he's going to grab some pussy. You traded somebody actually grabbing your pussy for money, you bitch. You don't get to say anything to anybody. She's just a fucking... But there's tons of them like that.
Yeah.
All of them, as it comes out, it's Kevin Spacey, falling apart. George Takei, it's in the chat room right now. Do you see that?
No,
George
I didn't.
Takei got nailed today, or somebody called him out for fucking fondling their balls in 1981. Isn't George Takei like one of the biggest hardcore fucking hate Trump guys in the world?
Absolutely, because he's a big, obviously he supports the gay agenda.
Yeah. So here's this guy. Now he's getting called out for it. So to me, it's a lot of fun watching these guys just fucking fall apart. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's just going to keep on going. But there is the other side that I don't love as much, but to be honest, I don't care, because it'll never affect me. And that is every one of us, anybody that is our age, that's in their late 40s, 40 and up, I'll say, has, and this is not a blanket statement, but I'm going to make us as close to a blanket statement as I can here.
Okay.
Damn near all of us have sexually assaulted a woman by the standards that they are trying to hold to now.
That is
today.
Correct. That is correct.
Every single one. I know I have. I know absolutely that I have, by the standard that they're putting out there today. Because I have absolutely gone up to chicks and fucking, talked a little bit of shit, or, fucking got a little handsy if you know, if things are going well at a party or something, you get a little handsy or whatever, start feeling up some tits or whatever. That shit happened. And that was the way it was back then. It wasn't, quote unquote, sexual assault. It was just hitting on people, you know? Yeah. That was the way it was.
Sure.
I mean, dude, I know you didn't go to a lot of parties, but if you went to, you know, I went to quite a few college parties with my brother when I was home on vacation or on leave a few times. You know, he was in college the same time I was in the military. And when I would come home for leave, he would take me to whatever parties were going on. And there was nothing but fucking booty calls happening all over the place. You'd be at a party and you'd be drinking, and this chick would be drinking, and she'd give you that look or whatever, and next thing you know, you were fucking you were going for it. And if it went well, then you fucking ended up banging her. But and if it didn't, then you know, you stopped. You know, but I mean, and again, this is where this gets a little weird, but you know, in today's society, if you think about it, there were definitely times what they consider sexual assault now would have been called kind of like I'll call it the banger's beg, for lack of a term. But you know, yeah, and you know what I'm talking about, where you're with some chick, or you're hanging out with some chick, and it's going real well or whatever, and then you like start making out with the chick or something, and you slide your hand on her tit, and she like kind of pushes your hand off.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, baby, this is going to be great. You know, this is going to be fun. And you slide your hand back to her tit, right? And then, you know, and then if she gets forceful, then you stop. But if she doesn't, then if she adapts to it, then you go ahead and bang her.
Right.
You know, that's kind of what the move was.
Sure.
Back in the day. But today that would be sexual assault, right?
Yeah, that would be sexual assault and coercion.
Yeah, exactly. But back then we did that that was part of the move.
Right.
That was part of the move. You didn't have to fucking fill out a resume to get your dick sucked. Today it's like, you can't even say darling. Equal of mine that is sitting here on the couch, I would like to present my penis to your vagina. Would that be acceptable to you? Yes or no? No? Okay. Well, then so much for that. Maybe we could watch some TV instead.
Right.
You know, I mean, no, there's like supposed to be zero trying to get laid is what and I'm having trouble understanding what you're supposed to do. You know, are you supposed to just not try? Are you supposed to just ask for some puss? And if she says no, go, okay, well, what else do you want to do? Is that the move that we're supposed to do now?
I guess.
I don't understand what you're supposed to do. It's kind of bizarre that you don't know. You know, I don't know what would or wouldn't be legal anymore. You know, honestly, it's kind of scary.
Well, that goes back to the whole thing that started probably within the last 2 years when we first started hearing the term microaggression.
Right.
You know, now everything is an aggression. You look at somebody wrong, or if you compliment a girl on her look.
Right.
You know, are you sexualizing me? It's like, no, I just thought you looked pretty today. Well, you wouldn't be attracted to a girl who wasn't made up? You know that kind of thing. Like yeah. You're at fault here for being complimentary.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's just be, if we're going to be honest here, let's be honest. Every guy that all right, let me back up because I don't like to make the fucking blanket statements. Damn near every single guy that has an interaction with a woman, their first motive is fucking them. Damn near every guy, every time. Now, even if that's just a fleeting thought, almost every guy, when you see a chick, some thought of some sexual thing is there.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's just built into us. I mean, we're just built to procreate.
Right. So in theory, you know, women are always like, they want to be treated with respect and all that, as they should. I'm all for that. But they need to stop pretending that our first thought is not seeing their tits and fucking their pussies. Because that is our first thought.
Sure.
Even if it's a fleeting thought for a second. I can tell you, for me personally, I judge every woman I see. Every single woman I see, there is the first thought is, I wonder what it's like to fuck her. Fat, thin, hot, not, whatever. And if the hotter they are, the more I have that thought. You know, and I have a lot of female friends. And every one of my female friends knows that I have those thoughts because I don't hide it. I don't care.
Right.
You know, I just am like, and to be honest, I think that's why I have a lot of female friends, because they know that I'm honest about it. You know, like Stephanie is one of my best friends in the world, as you're well aware.
Mm-hmm. And
Stephanie knows that if the opportunity was there, I would absolutely fuck the living tar out of her. and I've said that to her. I mean, I've said it directly to her. And the reason that she is still my friend anyway, even though I'm such a fucking pig, is because at least she knows I'm straight up and honest about it.
Right.
You know, and she's that kind of, you know, person that can handle me being my normal self to her.
Sure.
You know, and doesn't get all offended and stupid. But there's a lot of chicks, and we're seeing it more and more with this fucking PC culture, that pretend that that's not a truth. They pretend that that is not our first instinct, that that's either not our thought, or that we're going to change from doing that. And that's never going to happen.
Right. I agree.
We're wired to not change from that. We're wired to think that. We're wired to want to bag some puss every time we see anything with a puss. It's almost like the waft of that beautiful pussy fucking sort of mesmerizes us for that second. We get near it, and all of a sudden our thoughts are, gotta fuck it, gotta fuck it. Right. Oh, how are you, dear? You know? And now with this whole, I hate to say it, but there's probably a good chance that not in our lifetime, but shortly after me and you have dropped off this planet, that these fucking queers that are this new generation are going to be a lot more for it. These fucking, as you call them, these passenger seat kids.
Right.
Because they're all going to, I see them commenting on like Facebook or on like articles on news articles and whatnot. And it's like, remember I brought up the term the white knights, how people white knight all the time?
Sure.
It seems like every one of these millennials that has something to say about this topic is in white knight mode. About, you should be ashamed of yourself for having these. It's like, fuck you. But this whole generation is building themselves to be in these kind of pussies, man. It's sad. It's sad, but I'm going to keep doing. I don't know what your thought is as far as what do we do next, but I'm going to keep doing what I do. I don't actually give a flying fuck. You know, I don't care. I would never. I'll tell you what, Louis C.K., and we can get to that story if you want to.
Yeah, I was going to actually get to that, yes.
Louis C.K. made me sad by apologizing. Go ahead and read the story, and then we'll talk about it.
Well, I don't have the actual Louis C.K. story.
Okay.
But I was going to bring him up since he's one of the accused.
Sure.
And the thing is that what he's being accused of is, I heard about this years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like a new story.
Yeah.
I think Joan Rivers actually brought it up before she died.
Right.
She said that Louis C.K. whipped it out and, you know, stroked it in front of her.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a story 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it never caught traction, but now with all these allegations coming out against everyone and their brother, now all of a sudden he's losing his gigs, getting his movie canceled, getting his gigs canceled. And the thing is this is not a new story.
No, it's not. But Louis, there's a couple things. One, what kind of fucked up shit is that?
Yeah, well, I agree with that.
I mean, where do you get the idea that you get in front of a chick and it's like, all right, well, I'm going to pull out my dick and start jerking off to you in front of you.
Right.
Hope that's cool. You know, that's kind of weird. It's definitely very weird. But that being said, that's his kink. You know, and if he did it to people that felt like he shouldn't have, and they told him to stop, then he obviously should have stopped.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I don't know if you saw his apology, but his apology sucked. He should not have apologized for anything. You know, I liked where he started, where he said, yeah, these stories are true. But you know what his next words should have been? So fucking what?
Yeah.
That's what he should. He lost. What did he gain by apologizing?
Nothing.
He lost everything. Lost his gig. He lost his gig. He lost his movie. He lost his Netflix contract. He lost everything he had going for it. So you know his apology was bullshit. So why doesn't he just say, you know what? So what? Fuck you. Don't watch my comedy anymore then. He's made his money. He should have said, nope, not going to do it. And then fucking 3 years from now resurface and answer questions with, I'm not commenting on that, and just try forward with his comedy act.
Yeah. What was his apology? He said, I apologize for the women I made feel bad about themselves.
Something like that.
Something just kind of like a non-apology apology.
Yeah. Here. I want to address the stories told to the New York Times by 5 women named Abby, Rebecca, Dana, Julia, who felt able to name themselves, and one who did not. These stories are true. At the time, I said to myself that what I did was okay, because I never showed a woman my dick without asking first, which is also true. But what I learned later in life, too late, is that when you have power over another person, asking them to look at your dick isn't a question. It's a predicament for them. The power I have over these women is that they admired me, and I wielded that power irresponsibly. I have been remorseful of my actions, and I've tried to learn from them and run from them. Now I'm aware of the extent of the impact of my actions. I learned yesterday the extent to which I left these women who admired me feeling badly about themselves and cautious around other men who blah blah blah. Goes on from there. It's a long thing. First of all, he should not have. I don't think he should have gone into any of this nonsense. This is nonsense. If they didn't tell him to stop, he didn't do anything wrong. Don't you think?
Yeah, and
other than pulling his dick out in front of him in the first place.
Yeah, and just the thought that asking permission, hey, you mind if I whip my dick out and beat it in front of you?
Well, you know, I'm trying to put this into my head. And wouldn't I mean you ever try to stick your dick in a chick's ass?
Have I ever tried?
Yeah, I mean, not.
It wasn't
without talking about it. Just been like in the middle of fucking heavy sex and just saying, let me see if this goes.
No,
never tried that.
No, I have not done that. No.
Well, when you try that, what would you? Okay, well, since you haven't tried that, what would you assume a chick's fucking response would be?
Well, I would assume her response would be, hey, what are you doing? Or what are you trying to do? Or no, that's off limits, or that's not happening, or something.
Exactly. So if he was doing something and they weren't down, wouldn't their response be the same? Hey, what are you doing? Right?
Well, you would think, but maybe even just by doing that in front of them and stopping, they considered that an aggression or harassment. Even if he put it away after they told him not to do that anymore, or I don't want to see that, or whatever, they go, yeah, he assaulted me once.
Okay, but that's not what they're saying happened. They're saying that he jerked off in front of them.
Yeah, and...
well, that's the whole thing.
Did they say, and we told him to stop, but he just kept doing it?
Well, that's. I mean, I haven't read exactly how far it went, but I mean, I can't imagine that he stood in front of the door so they couldn't leave. I can't imagine, I can't imagine that if the chick would have been like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right.
That he'd be like, "Oh, well, I'm just going to jerk off while you watch." I can't fathom that that's how it would have gone. Now, I know that the argument back is, well, he was in a position of power and blah, blah, and he even brought that up, and that's just nonsense. You know what? I don't give a fuck, and maybe this is just me being me, but I don't care how much power or favor or anything I can get by going with the flow. If it's making me uncomfortable, I'm not going with the flow.
Right.
I'm sure at some point I could probably, if I needed to get a $200,000 loan, I'm sure I could probably suck someone's dick and get it. But you know what? That's never, ever going to happen.
Right. Well, the whole Louis thing goes back to prior to the election when that video or that audio was released of Trump saying, when you're a star, women let you do a lot of different things. You could, grab them, you could kiss them, you could even grab them by the pussy.
Right.
Because you're in, quote unquote, a position of power, or they're enamored by you or whatever, and they'll let you get away with stuff that normal guys would never be able to get away with. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what Louis is saying.
Yeah, but see, where I find all of them, including Trump, to be wrong, is the word power. Because the word power is not accurate here. They're not doing it because they're... Kim Jong-un is in power over North Korea.
Correct.
If Kim Jong-un walks down the street of Korea and sees a chick he wants to fuck, Kim Jong-un is going to fuck that chick because he is in power.
Correct.
And if she doesn't do what he says, she's going to end up chopped up into little pieces. That is being in power. Louis C.K. is not in power on the set of his show. He is the boss of a show. He is not... People don't have to suck his cock or watch him jerk his dick because something will happen to them other than losing their job, at which case you could fucking sue him and take all his goddamn money.
Right.
So this talk about, well, they did this because he was in power, that's nonsense. Or him saying he wielded his power irresponsibly. No, you didn't. You made a bad choice, and they made a bad choice. You're excusing them completely from making an equally bad choice. They could have left. They could have fucking punched him in the balls. They could have done anything they could to get out of there, but they didn't. They just went with the flow because it was easier. And sorry, but creepy guys, if somebody was coming at you with a fucking hammer, would you just sit there and let them fucking hit you with a hammer? Or would you do whatever the fuck you had to do to get out of there to protect yourself?
Yeah, you would think that's what a rational, normal person would do.
Okay, well, he was coming at him with a meat hammer. And they didn't do what they would have to do to protect themselves.
Sure.
It's the same principle, kind of. It's... The words are wrong. The oversensitivity is wrong. The way they're playing it up. Louis wrong for fucking... He should have just said, you know what? Nothing. No, I'm not going to comment on this. That's what he should have done.
Well, that's what he did the first time around. When
he should have kept doing it.
When these allegations came up a while back.
Yeah.
People asked him about it. He goes, yeah, I'm not going to comment on that.
And that's what he should have stuck with. Should have said, I don't care what anybody says. I'm not commenting on it. I'm not acknowledging it. If they take me to court, we'll deal with it in court. Until then, no, not acknowledging it. And people are, plus, he lost all his gigs.
He did.
So the apology was useless. The apology was completely useless. So what did he gain? He ruined the rest of his career, don't you think?
Pretty much. I
mean, I can't imagine. Where's he going to go to work now? comedy club again? He's too big for that. He can't do movies for a while. I mean, he just needs, what he's going to have to do is just go away for a while.
Yeah, he's going to have to do a Pee Wee Herman.
Yep, go away, then come back and say, oh, I learned my lesson. Let's move forward.
Sure. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
So, did these women were, none of them said no, right?
Well, we don't know. It's not, unless I've missed an article somewhere, it's not really clear what the interaction was, other than he pulled out his dick and jerked off in front of him.
Right.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I agree with Chris. If none of them said no, then what's the problem? You know, I mean, they might regret it later. I mean, you know, there's some things I've done in my life that I regret later. But if they still said, you know, if they didn't say no, you know, then the whole thing's got no case.
Here's the biggest problem, Tim. Guys are supposed to walk the line and never cross whatever imaginary line there is. That's what they're supposed to do. The women in these kind of situations never seem to have any accountability for any of it. And this is one of those scenarios in my head. These women, there were things that could have happened the minute Louis C.K. started fucking pulling his cock out. You know, I mean, and these women are just being let off scot-free. Like, the attitude is they shouldn't have to react to it. Well, anytime you're in a fucking bad situation, you have to react to it. You have to. But Louis is taking guys, Louis C.K. in this situation, but guys wholeheartedly we're always wrong for trying to get some. We're always wrong for trying to push forward to make something happen. We're always wrong. And that is what this is a perfect example of. Louis C.K. did something fucked up, but these women have no accountability for anything at all for their side of it. Now they're butthurt about it because they fucking are grossed out by it is probably what it is.
But we don't.
And there's no accountability.
We don't know that it was fucked up. We don't know that it was fucked up because, I mean, who's to say the women didn't get excited by it? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you know, this has been. I mean, I get excited at the sight of a naked body, and that's just a natural thing, you know. But so. If there's been no actual charge of this guy raped me or whatever, then this is just stupid. The whole thing's just stupid.
Yeah.
This guy's lost his career over the fact that these women may have enjoyed it at the time.
Well, I don't think they enjoyed it, or they're not saying they enjoyed it now. That's why they all went to the New York Times and reported it, but it could just be. I mean, but we don't know anything about why they're complaining about it now. We don't know that the reason they're complaining about it now is because they didn't end up in Louis' show or his movie or something. We have no idea.
Yeah.
They might have been willing to watch him jerk his dick to get a part. And you know what? I'm not saying that that's right either. It's not. But that's a decision they made. And it's not up to this guy, no matter how famous or powerful he is in the industry, it's not up to this guy to fucking say, well, I have this weird kink, and I got to make sure that you who's participating in it with me, are into it as well. They got to have some sort of accountability. And they have none.
Yeah. It's just another case and scenario where people don't take responsibilities for their actions. I mean, you know, I had sex with men. Whose responsibility was that? It was mine. You know, people have got to own this shit. You know, it just makes me sick. Anyway, how we kill.
All right.
I can't believe I just heard in the same sentence sex with men and makes him sick from Tim.
Right.
Thought he liked having sex with men.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it's this whole Louis thing is really, it's really sad to me, is what it is. You know, I mean, Louis, he's obviously a creep, but he shouldn't. You know what? This is why I always say that you don't fucking worship anybody. They're all fucking scum.
Right.
I mean, there's no reason to worship any celebrity ever.
Well, this goes back to the comments you were making last week about, you know, people who have attained wealth and status and whatnot. They just get bored with the normal stuff, so they have to, you know, search the reaches of their mind and go, yeah, you know, this is kind of like a, you know, maybe unacceptable thing, but I'm going to get away with it because of where I've, you know, the status that I've reached, you know, the position that I've reached.
Sure.
And that would be one of them, because a normal guy, you or I, or, you know, just regular Joe, we would never think to be sitting in a room, hey, you want me to whip my dick out and jerk it in front of you?
Or just do it.
Yeah.
It sounds like he just did it. It sounds like he didn't fucking ask. He just did it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It is weird. I mean, it's a weird kink, but there's people that are into weird kinks. You know, I mean, how many stories have we done about people being human toilets and shit like that? There are people with fucking weird kinks.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, I guess it should, I mean, the only thing it sounds like Louis didn't do is that ask first. You know, and I mean, he even said that in his statement. He said, he says something about where's the line?
Well, I think he said he always asked.
He always asked for, well, wait a minute. At this time, I said to myself that what I did was okay because I never showed a woman my dick without asking first. So I guess he did ask
Yeah, he
first.
said, hey, you know.
And because they didn't have the balls to say, you know what, I think not. You know, now we don't know that he's telling the truth on that either.
Sure.
But if he truly asked first, and these women are saying, well, you know, he's Louis C.K., I can't tell him not to do that.
Well, there goes back to that whole, you know, you disagreed with the use of the word power.
Yeah.
But what are you displaying right there by saying, well, he's Louis C.K., I can't tell him not to do that?
No, I'm saying that if that's their response, I'm saying that's what it sounds like, is that's their response, but that's them not taking responsibility for what happened.
Yeah, but
I'm not blaming Louis on that.
Yeah, I know, but my point is where you just said, you know, the use of power.
Yeah.
If these women are looking at Louis C.K. and go, I can't tell him that because he's Louis C.K. What position does Louis C.K. hold at this point? Is that a position of power or what?
No.
What is it? Well, what would be the right? What would be the right term then?
Louis doesn't hold any position. They're projecting that on him.
Oh, I see.
He's not in power of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with that. But my point is,
so he's not. It's not like if they tell him no, they're dead.
Well, I'm going to agree with that. But my point is when you when you make the statement, I can't tell him not to do that because he's Louis C.K.
They're giving him a position of power.
They're bestowing a position of power on him.
Correct, and that's their flaw.
Okay, so that blame lays with them, not him.
That blame lays with them. Absolutely does.
All right.
Do you agree or no?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted you to clarify that.
Yeah, the blame for that, if that's the way that this went down, which is kind of how it sounds like it did, that's on them. That is totally on them. You know, and look, Demon in the chat room, they want that part in the movie, some will do anything. Okay, well, that again is what I was saying before. The women have to take the responsibility for that. If you put two guys in a room, if you put you and Louis C.K. in a room, dude, and Louis C.K. said to you, I'm going to pull out my dick and start jerking off in front of you, and you wanted to be in Louis's new TV show, would you fucking give him that kind of power on any circumstance ever?
For me personally?
Yeah.
No, it's just like, dude, I don't want to deal with a guy like this.
Even if it hurt your career, you would be like, fuck you. Not going to do that creepy shit with me.
Right.
I mean, you would take responsibility for your situation. And that's as it should be.
Right.
The fucking this is what I'm saying. These women are taking no responsibility for their action. They let it happen. They didn't try to get out of there. He apparently asked first, and they didn't tell him, fuck no, put your dick away. That's what it sounds like, and that's their fault. If they didn't say, no, don't you dare pull out your dick, and he did anyway, now you got a real fucking problem.
Right.
But the fact that they didn't go that route, I don't see that what he did was wrong, other than fucking really goddamn creepy.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not feeling it, man. I think this guy's career went down the shitter, and he's helping it go down the shitter with this fucking soft, pussified PC apology.
Yeah, I agree. Well, did you ever hear Bill Burr talk about, this victimization or this blaming men for their actions, but they never talk about what the woman did to prompt those actions?
I didn't hear Burr say it, but that's exactly what I was saying before.
Well, I know. I got a little clip here for you.
Okay.
No, we have these huge battles. You know what the maddest she ever got at me was? One time she was watching this show. It was like a poor excuse for The View. And they started talking about domestic violence, right? For the 9 millionth time this year, they're talking about domestic violence. Just in case, you didn't get the memo. Evidently, just some people didn't get it. It's not okay to slam your wife's head into the cupboard drawers because she didn't dry the can opener off properly. It's gonna fucking rust, right? How do you not know not to do that shit? Do they really have to keep talking about it? It's like wife beaters watching for, oh, fuck, now I get it. Upset daisy, sweetheart, here we go. There you go, oh. So at the end of the hour, they come to the logical conclusion. They're like, there is no reason to hit a woman. There is no reason to hit a woman. And I was just like, really? I could give you like 17 right off the top of my head. You could wake me from a drunken stupor, I could still give you like 9. Dude, there's plenty of reasons to hit a woman. You just don't do it. But to sit there and suggest that there's no reason. Dude, the level of ego behind that statement. What are you, levitating above the rest of us? You're never annoying? Women, how many times have you thought about slapping your fucking guy in the head this week? There you go. Every day. You didn't do it, right? Oh, dude, it drives me nuts. There's no reason. There's no reason. Really? No reason? How about this? You marry a girl, you fall in love, you buy her a house. You go to work every day, paying off the house. You come home one day, she's banging the next door neighbor, hands you divorce papers. You got to move out, sleep on a futon, and still pay for that house that she's going to stay in. No reason. I'm not saying you should do it, but there's plenty of fucking reasons in that arc of a story. Really is. That's the thing. I hate that saying there's no reason. Obviously, I'm not saying to hit a woman, but saying there's no reason, I think that's crazy. When you say there's no reason, that kills any sort of examination as to how two people ended up at that place. If you say there's no reason, you cut out the build-up, you're just left with the act. How are you going to solve it if you don't figure it out? Look how awkward it is in here right now. I said you shouldn't hit a woman. I'm just saying, how come you can't ask questions? You can only ask questions about what the guy did. You can never ask about the woman. Why is that? Why is that? What is that? What does answer him right mean? What does that mean? Are you the idiot who got up halfway through the special during the bit and you're like walking around like I'm not fucking taping a special here? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Fucking had to ignore all of that and now you're gonna like yell out? And not only that, yell something that makes no fucking sense whatsoever? Answer him! Answer him! Every fucking special I do, there's always one. Always right down the fucking middle. Talking about hitting women, sweetheart. And I think you just added another reason. Jesus fucking Christ. You love this. I'm not even in a relationship with her, and she's fucking nagging me. Fucking unbelievable. Look, I understand hitting a woman's a bad thing, okay? Well, how come you can't fucking ask questions? I just don't understand. Like, if I get bit by a rattlesnake, wouldn't you guys have some questions? Right? How did it happen? Did you not see it? Were you fucking with it? How did this snake get so mad it almost killed you? Firemen put out a fire. They don't just drive away afterwards. They sift through the debris. How did it start? Here's an oily rag, right? Look, I realize I'm coming off pretty ignorant right about now. I realize that. Let me extend an olive branch then, okay? I realize that there's some animal guys out there, okay? Horrible guys, you know, have a rough day at the factory, come home, tuna casserole, and just start swinging, all right? I'm not trying to say that those people don't exist. I realize they exist. They should be buried underneath the prison, okay? So if I can admit that, ladies, can you at least admit that every ass kicking doesn't just fall out of the fucking sky? Really? Even hockey has 2 minutes for instigating, right? They understand that some back and forth happened before that shit, you know? You know what it is? Is every case is handled like that Rihanna one, where they just say, the guy's a piece of shit, fuck this guy, blah, 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 send him to jail, and then they never ask anything about that. You know, I'm not saying he should have done it, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Dude, in your heart of hearts, what do you think was going down before that happened? You think she was just sitting there going, oh my God, Baskin Robbins, you want to get some ice cream? You fucking... You know? Or do you think maybe they were having some epic end of the relationship fight and some crazy shit was being said? Maybe she was screaming in his ear some crazy female shit like, oh, fuck all your friends, I don't give a fuck! Maybe that's why I sell more albums than you, motherfucker! Right? To be fair, she could have just been sitting there going, I need a tissue. Do you keep those in the glove box? Oh my God, I'll bring my out! I'll bring my out! Hey, it says, I'm envious of women, okay? I'm not saying your problems get solved, but at least they're taken seriously. You know? People, you got 1-800 numbers, you got ribbons, there's groups. People give a shit. Anything happens to a guy, it's just considered funny. Some woman cut her husband's dick off, threw it in the garbage disposal, and turned it on. People thought it was hilarious. They were, hey, Stumpy! Nobody cares. Do you think if a guy removed a woman's titty and threw it in the dryer, anybody would be joking about it the next day? The entire country would grind to a halt. There'd be a moment of silence. The NFL would have some special colored headband everybody had to wear for an entire month. The most effeminate color they could possibly come up with.
So there you go. You never get to ask questions.
Nope.
What happened? How did this happen? Where did this happen? What caused that?
Yeah. So true, man. It's totally true.
Yep.
I'll be interested, because I know Burr knows Louis, and those guys all came up together, Bill and Norton. That's why I was listening to Norton this week, was I wanted to hear his commentary on Louis. But I'll be interested on Monday when Burr releases his podcast. You know he's got to talk about it.
Sure.
So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say as well, because I don't know. I just think the whole thing is fucking I mean, I don't want to say it's ridiculous, but I think it's a lot more of a two-way street than they're giving. They're not giving any of the other side of the street.
Oh, I agree with that.
It's just Louis taking all of the brunt, and that's not the way it should be at all. This should be a more evened out discussion. It shouldn't just be he's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Because if he asked first, and everybody's saying that he did, or if that is indeed the case, then he didn't do anything wrong. Gross, but not wrong.
Yeah. Oh well. Celebrities, man.
Yeah, man.
So, anyway, the whole world is turned upside down. Anywhere from politics to entertainment to stand-up comedy, whatever.
You know what I find funny too, with this whole thing, like with Louis or with Kevin Spacey or whatever. I don't know if you've noticed it, but all these companies that are dropping these guys and making their big statements about how we're not going to put out the new Kevin Spacey movie about Gore Vidal or whatever his name is, and we're going to recast him in House of Cards, and they're making all these statements, right?
Sure.
And with Louis lost his Netflix special and whatever. And it sounds like, for the public looks at that and says, oh, well, look, Netflix is on board with, they're fighting back, right? So I went today and I did a search. And they haven't taken anything down. If Netflix was truly disgusted with Kevin Spacey.
Right.
Would they not pull House of Cards off of
you would have thought
Netflix?
They would have pulled. Well, I mean, look what happened to, go back to an old show where people were up in arms about the Confederate flag. Didn't they pull all of the Dukes of Hazzard?
Right away.
Right away.
But Netflix, I looked today, because I knew we were going to talk about this and I wanted to have this in the pocket. There are 4 projects with Kevin Spacey that are still on Netflix. So Netflix saying that, well, we can't be associated, blah, blah. Yes, you can, because you're still selling the product. In fact, you gave me a notice today that you're jacking my price up $2 a month, but you're still keeping Kevin Spacey product out there. And you're not going to get rid of House of Cards because it's the signature of Netflix.
Right.
So they're not getting rid of that. No matter what, they're not going to get rid of it. And then I looked at Louis C.K., and Louis C.K. on Netflix has 5 projects on there. So them making the statement that they're going to cancel his new special doesn't mean that they're not going to profit off the stuff that he did in the past. And you know what? This statement here says he's been jerking his dick in front of women for 10 fucking years.
That's true.
So if you're so fucking horrified, why wouldn't you pull everything that he's done in those 10 years? Because you're not horrified. You're just trying to get the public to not fucking castigate you. They're fucking shitbags. There's no reality to this. There's no true outrage. It's that fucking faux outrage bullshit that these guys always have. The same with like when Anthony Cumia got fired from Sirius XM. They went out and said, well, we can't have this kind of statements, this or that. Anybody that listened to O&A for 10 fucking years heard those same statements. Heard the same kind of stuff that he was putting on his Twitter on his show every goddamn day.
Right.
But once they got out, they didn't even get rid of the O&A replays. They were replaying O&A with Anthony after Anthony was fired. Because like every other one of these companies, they're not gonna cut their look at the issue is not as true as the statement that they put out on the look of the issue. This issue here with Louis C.K. is, oh, well, he's a sexual deviant, and we can't be associated with that, except for the stuff that we already are associated with.
Well, that goes back to the goof that we always do on the show. If we start talking about something that's controversial, like racist and stuff, and either you or I will make that I'm going to have to distance myself from those comments.
Yeah, right.
It's the same thing.
It's the same exact thing. I'm going to distance myself from Louis C.K., except for the 5 specials that are currently there that people still watch.
Right.
And especially where he's in the news this week, people are going to be looking for content for Louis C.K., so they'll come to Netflix. So we'll keep those. And everybody likes House of Cards, so we're not going to cancel that just because this guy was fucking raping the guys on the set of House of Cards. Guess we don't have to cancel that. That would not be appropriate, now would it? Fucking jizzbags.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'll still keep watching because I don't give a shit.
Sure.
Rape everybody. Just make good content. I don't give a fuck. Honestly, I don't care. Dude, to me, they're all they're dots on a screen. Kevin Spacey is not a real human being to me. He's just a guy. He's just a fucking image on the screen. I don't care what he does. I really don't care what he does.
Yeah, he could be a hologram for all you care.
He is a hologram as far as I'm concerned. He's nothing but a fucking video. I don't know this guy, and I don't know the guy that he raped. So to me, it doesn't exist. Just fucking entertain me with House of Cards.
Right.
I'm not gonna feel bad watching House of Cards because I know that Kevin Spacey during breaks was, making his fucking his key grip his dick. I'm not gonna fucking feel bad about that. I don't care. Just entertainment. Same with these football players. I don't in the end, I don't care what they fucking do. They go and kill people in the off season. I don't give a fuck. Just play the game. They have no value to me. And if they killed somebody and they have to go to jail, well, then replace them. I'm not going to be sitting around wondering how their jail time's going. Just fucking replace them. Put somebody else in number 63 and get their fucking ass out there.
Sure.
And this whole thing with them having CTE or whatever, their brains being fucked up, tough shit. That's what you chose to do. Get out there, get your brain rattled, and when it's too fucked up, bring the next guy in.
Right.
Because you have no value to me other than entertaining me. And I think that's how people should look at me and you. Me and you should not have value in anybody that's listening's life right now. None. Other than we make them laugh or we make them think about something. We're just fucking monkeys, and you guys are grinding the fucking organ. And that's it. We shouldn't have any value in anybody's life except our own.
Right.
If everybody just had that attitude, none of this shit would fucking matter.
Yeah.
But we're in this fucking Kardashian world where, oh my God, they're a celebrity. We got to know everything about them.
Yeah, sure.
I hate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to play a tune. Andre in the chat room, he wanted me to play some Dokken.
All right.
It's Not Love. I'm going to play this from the Live from the Sun DVD.
All right, cool.
And we'll play a couple of tunes and we'll come back.
Sounds good.
All right, so for Andre in the chat room, here it is. It's some Rockin' with Dokken. It's Not Love, exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Hi, this is Don Dokken. You're tuned into the Classic Metal Show, the hardest rockin' show on the dial. Keep rockin' with Dokken.